What's my BTS squad? It's your boy SatAttack. When y'all see the title, man, it's the 7 deadliest sins as a YouTuber, bruh. Hey, this shit dropped 3 months ago. He just dropped part 2 10 days ago. I was gonna check that one out, but he dropped this 3 months ago. Got 2.9 mil, so why not? So road 2K, man. I'm back, man. We're gonna do it. 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. I'm dropping this shit in the morning. So let's get it, man. Happy 4th.
Deadly sins.
Go stupid.
Greed, lust,
do not blow your hands
envy,
off. Be careful.
pride, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. There are 7 YouTubers in particular that perfectly exemplify these 7 deadly sins.
Oh, I know this one. This the veggie teacher or some shit like that. No, this dude for a couple videos. Of course, Logan. Seen this dude before. I feel like I've seen him. Don't know. Do not know.
Starting with greed. Greed is thought of as the uncontrolled longing for something when someone has to sacrifice something important to get it. Jake Tran is the perfect candidate for this sin. While Jake definitely seems to be enjoying his life with expensive watches and fancy vacations, what did he sacrifice to get there? Well, that would be his video quality. There was a point in time when Jake was producing some of the best documentary content on YouTube, and his channel would absolutely explode because of it. But Jake sees himself as a capitalist, so he needed to optimize his machine. At first, this optimization would start out small and barely noticeable. However, it wouldn't be long until this machine was so optimized it would lose the soul that everyone loved in the first place. Completely outsource the editing to people on Fiverr? Check. Include a sponsor in every video? Check. Accept deals from scammy sponsors that have questionable products they want to sell to his fans? Check. You could definitely make the argument.
People be doing that shit all the time, I ain't gonna lie. Those motherfuckers that be doing that shit where you get like a box or some shit, you get hella boxes. You put like $5 or some shit like that. I don't know how that shit works. You open that box and it's like a gift and shit and you win that gift. But that shit, bro, I'll never do some shit like that. If you know, you know.
Jake is even
I think Pretty Boy Fredo has something like that.
More successful after
where you like have a bunch of boxes in a row. You pick a box and like a random ass gift, and they be displaying some like you got Jordans and shit like that, bro. That shit's not
greed. But the same could not be said for the YouTuber who indulged in lust. Lust is thought of as unbridled sexual desire, often when one has to sacrifice something pure because of it. James Charles is the perfect candidate for the sin of lust. The beauty YouTuber who was on top of the world but allowed his empire to be destroyed because of his desires. In late 2020, James was gaining an impressive average of nearly 150 million monthly views.
Damn, that's crazy. Damn.
But it wouldn't be long until his reputation was completely destroyed, beginning with James saying he was into straight men.
Not a boy who is straight.
Love that for you. That's easy.
It's easier than you would think.
After James was photographed at Coachella with a straight Instagram model named Gage Gomez, he would respond to the questions asking if this was his new boyfriend with the following tweet. Nope, unfortunately I'm still very single. This boy played me for months on end and is a disgusting con artist. I'm thankful I had my friends with me to protect me. After James tweeted, Gage would release a video alleging James was pressuring him into meeting up and beginning a physical relationship. But this drama would look like nothing in comparison to the events that would be the downfall of James Charles. It would all start when a Twitter user named Isaiah13 would make a tweet saying, "If you're gonna text someone, make sure you know their age. He added me on Insta. My Insta has my TikTok, which shows my age." Isaiah would then reveal on his TikTok James had been pressuring him to send explicit photos. It wouldn't be long until several other individuals would also come forward alleging they had a similar experience. James has not had a single month of positive subscriber growth since the drama. But unlike James, the next YouTuber on this list would explode in subscribers once his drama began. To envy is to have a longing arousal for someone else's belongings. But to take it a step farther is to have an extreme desire to actually be someone else. This
I do pretend to be Speed or some shit. Is this the same dude? I feel like I've seen this dude's face before. That's my guess right now. I feel like he tries to be Speed.
Defies White Boy
Because I just seen Speed at the bottom right, so I feel like yeah, I think I've seen this a couple times.
M, a YouTuber who constructed his entire personality around that of a more popular YouTuber, IShowSpeed. Before M was trying to become Speed by emulating him, he would post interview style content, but pay attention to how his voice sounds.
How many years did Richard Nixon serve president?
Oh, child, I am not even about to lie to y'all boys right now, bro. I was on Omegle, and a guy actually showed, you know, his, like, yeah, like, his private part, bro.
This
But if you gonna imitate some shit, you can't change it big content, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be IShowSpeed, you gotta do it from the get-go type shit, bro. You can't be having
Speed imitation would begin when M would start off a live stream with the title Live with IShowSpeed. The live stream would gain significantly more traction because of the clickbait title, signaling to M that Speed was his ticket to virality. Over the coming months, M would begin acting more and more like Speed, talking completely differently than he used to. This would continue until a series of clips would completely blow up White Boy M's channel.
Really? I have 14 out of 15 bubbles, bro. Are you serious right now, bro?
But internet success from directly
that shit sound
copying someone else is never sustainable in the long run, which is reflected by M's statistics. While White Boy M would be considered somewhat of a small YouTuber, the next YouTuber on this list is one of the biggest on the platform and is representing Pride. Pride is defined as dangerously corrupt selfishness, putting one's own desires, urges, wants, and whims before the welfare of others.
I seen him and I seen a little video. I didn't watch it or something. Him and the dude George or some shit.
They look at the events that transpired in Logan Paul's YouTube career. Pride would be a perfect descriptor to summarize them. Starting with his early Vine days.
He low-key gifted a WWE wrestler though. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't sat down and watched him and shit like that. But like he be bringing like special moves type shit. You be doing some crazy shit like pay-per-view,
which could best be described as him acting like a public nuisance. Pride could certainly be seen in these type of videos because he was acting like an idiot, annoying the public for his own personal gain. But Logan Paul's prideful actions would only get worse from here on out. The major event we could point to would be when Logan filmed a vlog in a Japanese forest, which is colloquially called the forest. While filming his vlog, he was acting in his normal over-the-top kid-friendly manner, but the worst part of the whole situation would be when he showed an actual dead body of a man who had deleted himself. After a huge apology tour, it would have
But I'm sorry, why would you even think that's cool? Like, I understand you being childish and shit, like, I feel like, hey, do your thing. But why would you film that shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is crazy. Like, I would never think of filming someone's dead body, bro. First of all, I wouldn't even try to look at someone's dead body, bro. I'd be freaking out type shit. Like, hey, yo, that boy dead over there. I'm not trying to look over there, but, like, that dude dead over there. Like, y'all call someone type shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm
sorry that Logan had reconstructed his reputation, but he would again put his own wants before the welfare of others a few years later. In early 2022, Logan would begin his foray into crypto. This journey would start with a few promotions of what are called pump and dump coins. These are coins designed to make their founders money without providing any value to the community that supported them. Logan would profit immensely from promoting these coins, but these promotions would pale in comparison to Logan's own project, CryptoZoo, a game which, similar to a pump and dump coin, was designed with a minimal amount of effort to earn as much money as possible for its founders. The game would be broken and underdeveloped, leaving a huge trail of victims who lost significant sums of money after believing in
that's the dude who covered it. I think I reacted to
Logan's promises. While Logan Paul is big on YouTube, this YouTuber is also big, but in a different way, and is our candidate for gluttony. Gluttony is the overconsumption and overindulgence in something to the point of waste. The genre of YouTube videos known as mukbang would be the perfect candidate to represent gluttony.
I'm sorry pausing again, but I understand like looking at people, if they're eating something that you might get, like I do that shit all the time. I'm about to get like Wingstop, they got a new flavor, I look that shit up. But why do y'all watch these people eat on a regular basis? Like that shit just make me hungry, and you know damn well you're not getting that shit. So it's like, bro, why? Like you just watch some all day. Like
involved.
I understand if they eating some crazy shit. Like that one girl be eating some live fucking animals, bro. That shit is crazy, bro. Like that shit is weird as hell.
Preparing an ungodly amount of food and then attempting to finish it. But when choosing a specific YouTuber to represent gluttony, it would have to be Nikocado Avocado. Nikocado Avocado, otherwise known as Nicholas Perry, would begin his YouTube channel in Colombia.
Look how skinny boy was. Like, damn, that shit crazy.
Documenting his vegan life when he moved there with his then boyfriend. He would cover various things about his lifestyle, but his channel would only start gaining a decent amount of traction on his videos when he ate food in front of the camera, otherwise known as a mukbang. At first, these mukbangs would start out with a somewhat reasonable amount of vegan food and usually involve Nicholas finishing it. But about a year into his YouTube journey, Nicholas would make a video stating his frustrations with the vegan community and saying he would be departing from it. From this point forward, although his dishes were still very healthy, they would occasionally start containing meat in them. But being in the mukbang niche meant that to stay interesting,
that boy still look good. I ain't gonna lie, pause. Like that boy was looking
and compete against the other YouTubers, Nicholas would have to up the portions and the visual intrigue of the food he was eating. The food Nikocado Avocado was eating began to become increasingly unhealthy and the portions larger as time went on. With this gradual change, his weight would increase as well, transforming the once skinny vegan YouTuber into a morbidly obese person that uses a mobility scooter to get around. Nikocado went from vegan to meat lover, and the next YouTuber would be very...
At some point, bro, it's enough money, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like my boy made a lot of money. You could start eating healthier.
Angry at him, which is perfect because she's our candidate for wrath. Wrath is the most simple of the 7 deadly sins, and is pretty much thought of as excessive anger. Thinking about angry YouTubers, images of raging gamers probably come to mind, but there's actually someone who's much more angry than them. Observing her outward appearances, she would probably be one of the last people you would think should fill this spot on the list. But the truth is, she's one of the most angry YouTubers of them all.
Yeah,
that vegan teacher, otherwise known as Katie Dykmeyer, would create her
I
channel.
I look at her as more funny and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think she went at Gordon Ramsay the last time reacted to, but like, hey yo, that shit low-key funny to me rather than actually taking her serious, you know what I'm saying? Let her make her money, you know what I'm saying? She doing her thing.
July 21st, 2018, but she wouldn't start uploading until the pandemic began in 2020. Her videos would start off very tame and would be what you would expect from a typical vegan activist. Although her videos would change forever once she made the discovery that the more outrageous she made her content, the more views she obtained. Even though these views would be comprised of people watching for the sole purpose of laughing at her, her views would go up nonetheless. At a certain point, she would devise a new strategy, combining outrageous content with calling out famous influencers. But if her goal is to actually convert people to the vegan lifestyle and not just increase her own notoriety, it certainly isn't working, as her image of the crazy vegan steers people away from considering it as a serious lifestyle. You could say a lot of things about that vegan teacher, but one thing you definitely can't say is that she's lazy and isn't always trying new strategies to get people to be vegan. However, in terms of work ethic, the same could not be said for the next YouTuber on this list and our candidate for sloth. Sloth is the reluctance to work or make an effort, otherwise known as laziness. The best way we can apply this idea to the content of YouTube is a failure to innovate and create new content, as we can pretty much examine every failed YouTube channel and see that 90% of the time, the chief cause of its downfall was...
Hey yo, why you targeting my boy? Hey, I'm doing a reaction channel. Hey, chill, relax. There's a lot of reaction channels out here. I don't know, I feel like I'm being attacked right now.
Boogie2988 is no exception to this rule and is a great candidate for the deadly sin of sloth. Boogie hasn't seen a month of positive subscriber growth in over 3 years, and the primary reason for this is the fact that his content never changes. A vast majority of his videos are him sitting in his room talking about something or complaining about his life. If you look at a video made 1 year ago, 2 years ago, even 3 years years ago, there's no significant change in video quality, the pacing, or really anything at all. The truth is, YouTube is such a competitive game that if you aren't changing anything, people will eventually get bored and watch someone else who is putting in the effort to make their videos perpetually better. And unfortunately for now, Boogie is not making the choice to do that. The seven deadly sins.
The second video dropped too. Should I check that shit out too? That's just 16 minutes. I might check that shit some other day. I ain't gonna lie. Ah, fuck it. We'll check it out.
The seven deadly sins: greed, lust, envy, pride, gluttony, wrath,
Oh, the same seven.
sloth.
Same-
There are
same
seven
seven
more
deadly
YouTubers
sins?
in particular
Okay.
that perfectly represent
alright.
these seven.
We all know this fool. I feel like I've seen this dude a couple times. Of course, I know my boy Austin. I've seen this fool sometimes. Don't know who that is. She got nice eyes though. Don't know these two. Don't know this. So I know. Well, for sure I know one, two of these, and these two are iffy.
Deadly sins, starting with gluttony.
Oh, we're going from the
According
back.
to Merriam-Webster, gluttony is greedy or excessive indulgence, and by that definition, the YouTuber Amberlynn Reed is a sad but fitting representation of
Like
the sin.
Nick Cotto
What makes her
avocado.
story sad is that at one point she symbolized overcoming gluttony instead of embracing it. On November 17th, 2013, Amberlynn posted her first ever video titled
vlog.
Nervous plus Awkward plus Weight Loss Vlog.
My name's Amberlynn and I wanted to start a YouTube channel for weight loss.
She was met with
Hey,
numerous
W.
positive comments commending her bravery and noting that her openness about her own weight loss journey was inspiring others to follow in her footsteps. But following in her footsteps would
Yeah,
quickly
fuck that.
turn out to be a bad idea, as only 1 week after her first video, she would make it clear she had an extremely pessimistic attitude about her potential to actually make progress.
I don't have willpower like I used to. This week I want to be down at least 3 pounds. I remember the days where I was down 3 pounds a day, but I'm never gonna be that again.
This set the tone for the beginning of Amberlynn's journey, as in the following weeks, she reported a
Now with that
consistent weight
attitude.
gain instead of the desired loss.
So I did my weigh-in. I was up 2.8. You guys probably are getting frustrated with me maybe because every time I weigh in I'm like not losing.
As the new year rolled around, Amberlynn created a resolution to get below 300 pounds and actually made some significant progress towards this goal. She reached a weight of 349 pounds, losing an impressive 20 pounds from her weight of 370, but unfortunately this was the lowest her weight would go. From this point on, Amberlynn's weight
God
slowly
damn, she about to be on that my 500-pound life type shit. Like, God damn. She gonna end up seeing that fucking angry ass doctor.
started to
that was-
spiral out of control. It appeared that Amberlynn had become frustrated with the negative direction of her journey and decided to give it up altogether.
This title is not clickbait at all. I am done with my weight loss journey.
The content on her channel became more focused on the food she was eating, with many mukbang style videos. These videos unfortunately gained more views than talking about her weight loss journey ever did, creating a backwards incentive structure
be
like
like
we
that.
previously saw
Shit
in
be like
Nikato's
that,
channel.
man.
At this point, Amberlynn was well aware that her audience was made up primarily of people hate watching her, and the sad reality of a situation like this is that your audience on YouTube are the people who are technically paying the bills. This kind of hate-watching dilemma isn't unique to Amberlynn. The next person on this list is also stuck in the same unfortunate situation and is our candidate for wrath. Wrath is defined as extreme anger. Jordy Jordan, aka Wings of Redemption, embodies wrath to the fullest degree. But Jordy wasn't always like this. He had his start in the early days of YouTube making laid-back Call of Duty commentary videos. He built up a reputation for himself as a chill, relatable guy who was open and honest about what he was feeling and thinking about. We can pinpoint his wrathful beginnings to one fateful night when he began to feel threatened by another Call of Duty player who was supposedly better than he was at the game. After talking down to the
Bro, it really that serious, bro? You gotta be the best, bro. Like, hey, yo, I'm not the best at any of these video games, but I'll be dying.
Player
bro.
whose name is Syndicate. They decided to set up a 1v1 match. The rules were set as the player who could reach 30 kills first, or who had more kills after 10 minutes, would win. After a very intense match, Syndicate came out on top with 14 kills compared to Jordy's 9.
Yeah.
This loss sent Jordy
Y'all 10 minutes to do that shit? Y'all was just hiding.
into a rage, causing him to break
I
his
didn't even get
controller
close to 30 kill mark. No, fuck.
and blame his friend for the whole ordeal.
Wings, did you spawn in? I broke my controller. Why the f you stream that shit?
It was your idea.
No, I didn't say stream it.
This event would severely tarnish Jordy's reputation and mark the beginning of the public perception that he wasn't the chill guy that everyone thought he was.
Yeah.
With his tarnished reputation, Jordy's YouTube views began to slowly dry up. He decided to switch to streaming on Twitch, where he had access to live donations and monthly paid subscriptions. But the decision to broadcast himself live highlighted Jordy's wrath in a way that was never witnessed before. Even though streaming allowed
Streaming is different. Streaming, you can't edit shit, bro. You say some shit, it's out there, my boy. There's nothing you could...
Jordy access to these new income opportunities, it prevented him from editing out his extreme outbursts of anger. This dynamic created a cesspool of toxicity where Jordy's viewers try everything they can to get a reaction out of him. Based off what we know about Jordy, it's definitely fair to say that his wrath wasn't very calculated, but the YouTubers who represent greed were extremely strategic in their sin. Greed is defined as a selfish and excessive desire for more than something than is needed. And what better example is there of greed on YouTube than when in early 2016, Benny and Rafi Fine tried to legally trademark the whole of the reaction genre.
We are excited to announce React World, which is a first-of-its-kind program that allows people and companies to license all our popular shows online. In entertainment industry terms, when you create a version of a show based on someone else's format, this is called licensing, which many TV shows have done over time. For example, Britain's Got Talent and America's Got Talent.
If you had no idea what kind of content the Fine Bros produced, that pitch may have seemed somewhat reasonable. Like the example they gave of America's Got Talent, licensing Simon Cowell's format and IP of Britain's Got Talent for an American audience makes a lot of sense. But once you learn that their format was putting someone in front of a computer and filming their reaction to an already existing piece of content, their obvious greed comes to the surface. The Fine Bros React trademark announcement proved to backfire on them quickly as they lost over 500,000 subscribers in the week following.
Damn, 500,000 in a fucking week? Hey, those 500K, come over here, bro.
The news. After this massive backlash, they responded to a viral Reddit thread in r/videos in an attempt to explain they'd only been trying to trademark the quote-unquote structural elements of their series. Along with their Reddit AMA, they released what most people consider to be one of the worst apology videos in YouTube history.
Damn.
Following the theme of the Reddit response, this apology seemed to blame their audience for not understanding what they were actually trying to say.
Bitch, what
when
the
their
fuck?
sub count wouldn't stop
Don't blame
dropping,
me.
they hoped everyone would forget about what happened and released a written statement where they said they would be canceling their React World program. But bizarrely enough, the Fine Bros PR strategy appeared to have worked. 4 months later, they had recouped all their lost subs and were growing once again. Their sin didn't appear to have ended their career at all, but this couldn't be said for the next YouTuber on this list, whose sin caused him to lose literally everything and is our candidate for lust. Merriam-Webster defines lust as unbridled sexual desire, especially when you sacrifice something because of it. The ex-YouTuber known as EDP445 fits this definition perfectly. His sexual desire is led him to sacrifice his
That dude's still on social media somewhere. I don't know if he's got TikTok or something, but I've seen him somewhere.
YouTube account with over 2 million subscribers, but more than that, his entire life. EDP445, aka Brian Moreland, was once a very well-liked YouTuber, known for his willingness to speak his mind.
Shit crazy, bro. Shit crazy, bro. Bro really had to go for kids, bro. Like, you literally... Bro, come on, bro. Motherfucker was dying at your
He
video.
began his channel in the early days of YouTube, growing his catalog of videos, which mainly consisted of him ranting about all things Philadelphia Eagles. His uniquely raw style gained him a decent amount of notoriety among other Eagles fans, and landed him an interview in the Philadelphia magazine where he's described as having a cult following. Following his appearance in the article, Bryant would slowly but surely continue to build up his subscriber base, but at some point, his viewers would notice an odd amount of videos were focused on his love for adult content. One slightly disturbing standout video recounted the time he stole multiple bras from his local laundromat. In hindsight,
bro, like all the signs were right there, bro. All the signs were right there. This dude's not normal.
these videos may have been early warning signs of Bryant's malicious side, but his audience at the time wrote them off as part of his quirky personality.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be long until this facade of the quirky personality came crumbling down.
Who's that? Who's that little girl that's in the video? I'm sorry, I'm
Quirky
cleaning my nails out, bro. This shit dirty.
personality came crumbling down.
So what is this, man? Come on, ED445. I thought you said you're not a right? Okay, so why'd you text 5 underage girls? Why'd you fall for this decoy account? Why'd you fall for it? That's you, right? Let's click on your name. Oh, you have me blocked.
This video is from Cold Raven,
Hey, yo, I used to watch
a
Cold Raven
small
too.
YouTuber who catfished Bryant with an account of a fake underage girl.
He was the
It was
first
this
to,
video.
he was the first to call him out on bullshit, and no one believed him because motherfuckers thought, hey, yo, he cloud chasing. But hey, that boy was on top of it since day one.
Along with Cold Raven reporting on real underage girls Bryant was texting, that speculation began of more sinister intentions. These speculations would be confirmed when the infamous EDP Caught in 4K video was uploaded to YouTube. A channel called Predator Poachers created an elaborate to catch a predator-esque sting operation by luring Bryant to meet them with a girl he believed to be 13. After being exposed, Bryant got banned from every major social media platform because of how he embraced his sin. The next YouTuber on this list still has a massive social media presence, but turned his life upside down and is our candidate for pride. Pride is defined as inordinate self-esteem, an unreasonable conceit of one's own superiority in talents, beauty, wealth, and accomplishments. Essentially believing you are something greater than you actually are. This perfectly describes the sad situation of the Ace family. A family vlog channel built on a massive foundation of prideful lies. It's clear that from the very beginning, the Ace Family channel was created by Austin and Catherine McBroom as a vanity project. In all their videos, you get the impression that they are trying to come across as the picture-perfect family, and at the time, it was working. They gained 1 million subscribers in less than 1 year after starting the channel, and began to grow an audience of dedicated fans. As the channel's growth ramped up, so did the not-so-subtle materialistic undertones of the content. Expensive Louis Vuitton bags for mom, an endless supply of new shoes, new clothes, and so many new cars. All these items would give off the overwhelming impression of success, but whether they could even afford
y'all shouldn't be doing all that
all this stuff came into question when they posted a tour of their brand new LA mansion. After some detective work, viewers quickly figured out that the new house the Ace family had supposedly bought was just a lease.
Damn, that's that's
Now, there's nothing inherently prideful about renting a house, but it was the fact that they wanted their viewers to believe they owned it where their pride came through. It wouldn't be long until the Ace family moved into an even more luxurious house.
That shit is beautiful, damn.
Except this time, they were actually buying it. The McBrooms made the extremely irresponsible decision of taking out what's called a hard money loan in order to finance their new property, which cost them a total of $10 million. A hard money loan comes from a private entity versus a traditional lender like a big bank. These loans have extremely high interest rates and are typically used exclusively by house flippers because of their short payback window. To no one's surprise, not long after purchasing the house, the McBrooms defaulted on their loans, putting their property into foreclosure. The Ace family put themselves in financial ruin because of how they embraced their sin. But bizarrely enough, our candidate for sloth has become richer than ever by embracing theirs. Choosing a candidate for sloth is actually pretty difficult, more so than the other sins. This is because if someone is significant enough to be on this list, they are reasonably successful in one way or another. Sustained success inherently requires a level of consistency and dedication, which is the opposite of sloth. So I needed to choose someone not who isn't dedicated at all, because in a YouTube sense, this would just be never uploading a video, but someone who deliberately chose the easy path. And when trying to find someone who chose the easy path, I didn't need to look any further than Ethan Klein. Ethan, once being one of the most loved YouTubers on the platform, has transitioned into a mediocre, easily offended podcast host. What makes this transformation especially tragic is that Ethan has become exactly the kind of person he used to roast in his glory days. He got his start by being the conscience of YouTube in a sense, disavowing some of the awful content that dominated the platform in the early 2010s. Ethan and his wife Hila pioneered the now extremely popular genre of the reaction video, with a focus on cringeworthy topics they could make fun of. Along with these roasting type videos, Ethan and Hila started to experiment with different IRL content, like their modern art video, 100 layers of beanies, and the classic Vape Nation video.
That's actually pretty crazy.
Art video, 100 layers of beanies.
Yo, that's lit, bro.
And the classic Vape Nation video. If one thing was clear during this time, it was that Ethan had a genuine passion to create the best content he possibly could. But as the years went on, this genuine passion would sadly disappear. On April 7th, 2017, Ethan and Hila launched a new project, the H3H3 podcast. At first, the podcast was incredible, growing exponentially due to their ability to share the never-before-heard stories of large YouTubers. As the podcast continued to grow, the amount of uploads on the main channel would begin to shrink to a halt. From a business standpoint, this made a lot of sense because the podcast could have up to 4 sponsors in one episode and be made on a much more consistent basis. From a content standpoint, H3 fans were being deprived from what made them love Ethan in the first place. Even though Ethan Klein is embracing sloth and not leaving his comfort zone, his podcast channel isn't really suffering from a decline in views, unlike the next YouTuber on this list and our candidate for envy. Toddy Westbrook was a once very successful makeup creator that now struggles to pull in 3% of her 8 million subscribers. It's true that the makeup genre on YouTube saw somewhat of a decrease in popularity over the last 4 years or so, but if we take a look at someone in the same space as Tati, for example Manny Mua, we can see his channel shows nowhere near as drastic of a decrease in views. So if it wasn't a lack of interest in the genre, what caused this problem for Tati? The answer to this question is her envy. On April 22nd, 2019, Tati would post a 4-minute and 53-second long series of Instagram stories where she is visibly upset and crying. In these stories, she talked about someone not mentioned by name who had supposedly used her.
I'm just so upset. I feel really used. Welcome to business. Everybody says what they need to say and uses who they need to use to get ahead, and I have had about enough.
A few weeks later, Tati would make this anonymous person known in her infamous Bye Sister video. In the video, Tati essentially tries to paint a fellow makeup YouTuber, James Charles, as a predator who preys on straight men. The being used aspect refers to how James took an Instagram sponsorship from a vitamin brand that was in competition to Tati's. After she posted the video, Tati made another statement on Instagram doubling down on James's predatory behavior. Predatory behavior should not be swept under the rug or justified away based on someone's age. This is not the way people should be treating each other. I know that and I need to speak up on this. It's not out of hate. I truly wish for change and healing. But when the supposed victim came out with his own video disclosing that he was actually the one who reached out to James first and then decided to make out with him, the predator narrative would be thrown out the window. Keep in mind, this was long before any of the newer allegations toward James were made. At this point in time, James was truly innocent. So if the video wasn't made because James was actually a predator, why would James taking a small sponsorship from a competitor make Tati want to end her relationship with James, her supposedly close friend? The answer is envy. But Tati wasn't alone. The whole Bi Sister video was an orchestrated attack between Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, and Tati. 3 stagnating beauty YouTubers that didn't like the fact that James was dominating the market with his meteoric rise. Tati claims she was manipulated into making the video by Shane and Jeffree, but Charlie puts it best on why that excuse doesn't add up.
Tati is nearly 40 years old and she knows what she's doing. She knew what she was doing with the James Charles situation.
Tati's envy cost her reputation, and in the YouTube world, that's the most valuable asset you can have. As Robert Greene says in the 48 Laws of Power, law number 5, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life.
That's facts though, I ain't gonna lie. But thank God that video's over. I don't know why I reacted to both of them. Shit, that was a long ass video, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I low-key lost interest. God damn, 35. Holy shit, bro. I low-key lost interest like halfway through that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. Thank God that shit's over, bro. A 7 would have been fine. I should have reacted to it again later, the other 7, but damn. They were all true though, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I was paying attention, but like, that shit was like, holy